$1.5 trillion exiting banks. Could this be good for crypto? Question everything. Trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, here on another Sunday Fun Day weekly wrap up. Glad to see everyone. Crusader, how are you doing this morning, brother?
Doing good, man. Feeling better, and got some good stuff going on today in the crypto space. And I'm actually excited to talk about. We might finally be seeing that massive crypto dump, and there might be two reasons why it's happening here.
You heard it right. Crusader just said we got some great things going on in the crypto markets. We might finally see that massive dump. He did not say pump, ladies and gentlemen. Yes,
that's right.
Sometimes it's good just to vote for the dump. All right. So if you haven't already, smash that like. It's Sunday. We're here every Sunday, 12 o'clock. And then we have pinned in the chat, Danger Close Alpha. We got some fun topics over on DCA today at 1 p.m. So make sure to come check us out. Bulletproof vests and everything. We will be rocking it out as per the norm. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. Kryptonian's got his popcorn out. I see that in the chat. Let me jump into the chat real quick. Post was the number one, and he had a really creative comment here. He said, first. You are the first indeed, Post. Glad that you are here. Who else is up in the house? Twin TV, Meanless, and Kenton, always here, part of the DCA fam. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Like I said, Kryptonian in the house also. All right, let's kick it off. Let's take a look at the markets as per the usual, see what's going on there, and we'll press forward. Let's check out the market caps. The global crypto market cap. We've got to change. 1.03 trillion with the T dollars, down 0.7.
The dump is beginning.
The dump begins. Dun, dun, dun. Bitcoin down 0.44% at 25,771. Pretty flat over the week, down 0.32%. ETH, kind of same story, down almost 1% though. If you pay any attention to crypto, you know when Bitcoin dumps a little bit, ETH usually dumps a little bit more. BNB at 212.88, down a little bit over 1%. XRP down below that 50-cent mark, still not to $50 or 50,000. The buyback has not happened yet. Cardano's at 24 cents. I think that's a good opportunity. Dogecoin, same thing, down at 6 cents, down almost 3.5%. And Solana's dumping. Crusader, you said something about Solana before the stream. I didn't catch it. What were you saying in regards to Solana specifically?
Yeah, Solana, right, it's having a price dump, even though it had some massive news with Visa partnering up with them to put their stable coin on there on the Solana network. Yeah, we're seeing a massive dump. I think there's also has to do with some of the other news that we're going to be covering that has to deal with FTX and some massive liquidations coming in, and they hold a good chunk of Solana. So I think that is people getting ahead of that step.
I gotta say, Ken brought up a good point. Ken said 1 p.m. Sunday during football season. Well, listen, a lot of you Kryptonians, I'll use the name in the chat, are not football fans, but some of you are. Crusader, I think my Browns play the Bengals today, but I've got way too much going on, so I'm probably going to miss that anyway. And hey, guys, listen, you can put the YouTube on in the ear and still watch football. Just throwing that out there.
Yep. You know, football's fun to watch and everything, but unless you're making massive sporting bets on it, which is very risky, you're not really going to be making any money off of that, right? It's just pure entertainment. It's just circus play to keep the people entertained so they don't rebel. But crypto, on the other hand, is going to make you a lot of money if you do the right things and got to stay up to date.
And paying attention to the DCA fam, all the information that we're putting out there, let's be real, all of the political stuff that's going on does affect your dollar. It does affect crypto, and we're going to talk about that both in this stream and in the next. So pay attention, stick around. Like I said, if you haven't smashed the like already, do that. We see what the markets are looking like. Crusader, are you planning on dropping any TA today or no?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm not going to show, well, I'll probably show it, but it's whatever. I'll show the Bitcoin one here real quick. See, obviously nothing has changed. Still the same levels that we're waiting for, right?
That's been such a tight little range.
Yeah, 24/7. We can't get above the point of control here for the yearly range. We keep getting rejected. Therefore, these are the levels we're looking for. You guys know this already. But I got ETH here for you as well at a macro level. So here at a macro level for ETH, right, we've been stuck. We've been getting support between this range of the March PIV and the quarter 2 PIV. This is where we've been getting supported at. We have wicked below the yearly range low, all the way down to this February PIV that's at 1485. We didn't quite touch it, but we approached it really closely. That is going to be the next massive level. If we lose this range here, we're going to drop to this range area low, which is about 1533. There is a golden pocket somewhere around here, about, I think, 1560, 1540, give or take, around there. Maybe we can see a bounce from there. But if we don't, and we continue nuking through these levels, 14 is going to be the next big one. And after that, we come all the way down to 13, even 12. There might be some other support down here. You see it back here. We had a reversal. This might be some support here at 1422 as well. But this is definitely things to be looking out for. But let's hope that we get this bounce here, right? Shout out to CVO and Leading Crypto. They've talked about a golden pocket in this range and a bounce from here.
I look at it as oportunidad. It is definitely that. I think ETH and Bitcoin dumping, which we're going to talk about, or what we believe possibly might be the catalyst for an upcoming dump, is going to be ultimately a good thing. I know it feels kind of funky in the process, but the reality is investments need to go down for people to be able to have opportunities to buy in lower, to then be able to, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say, I'm not trying to say average, basically average down their position so that they can continue to make money on the way up. So we need the low prices with the high prices. We can't just continue to go up and to the right. I mean, I guess theoretically we could. If we knew it was always going up and to the right, you bet your ass I'd be dollar cost averaging every single block. Right? Just continue.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Well, dollar cost averaging by the block?
No.
Oh,
not specifically. I'm just saying, like, the fact that, Bitcoin and going up and to the right, long-term plays, like all the massive news that we talk about. And it's like, I've really been getting the urge here. I'm really waiting for these next 2 weeks to see where this price dump takes us. And if it does come, to start seriously dollar cost averaging. I've thought about some serious things. I don't want to mention it because I don't want people getting ideas, but we kind of had these conversations about, getting some capital and really injecting it into these markets, because long term, I just don't see it not happening. So I'm getting that itch to start buying up a good amount at these levels.
Got a little crypto crackhead itch going on. Just kind of scratch the side of your face a little bit. I feel it. All right, so crypto fam, let's check out ETH. Let's start with that. Hey, that's triggering. Okay, easy.
Flashbacks.
So the ETH price. Let's check out what's going on with ETH. We were just talking about ETH in particular, but I think that this is important to pay attention to. If I could pull up, here it is. It's got my stuff all flipped around today. I don't know why. ETH price prediction. Should you enter Ethereum coin at $1,600 dip? Now, we are not accredited, or we are not financial advisors. Okay, just to be clear. Okay, we're just kind of looking at some of the news here. I want to be really, really clear about that. They're coming after a bunch of freaking. Have you seen all this craziness, Crusader, with coming after a bunch of Canadians, and they're going to be coming. They're basically looking for anyone and everyone to point the finger at when people lose money. Besides, the SEC is basically looking for marks.
Go find whoever wrote this article.
Yeah. The Ethereum price has maintained its position above the $1,600 mark, along with the ascending support trend lines for the past 3 weeks. Frequent dips to this level, swiftly met with buying interest, underscore the resolve of the buyers to hold the fort. However, is this fortified support enough to usher in a bullish turnaround? The Ethereum chart continues to present demand pressure at the 1,600 mark. A breakout above the overhead trend line will offer better confirmation of recovery. The intraday trading volume in Ether is 2.0 billion with a B dollars. That's indicating a 14.5% loss. So check this out. We have a nice little triangle pattern forming, a descending. Would this be a wedge? Yeah, this would be a descending wedge. I guess we're going to see whether this holds or whether we break through. I think that we're going to break through. It says on August 29th, Ethereum saw a dash of optimism as buyers propelled the price to 1744. The move aimed to rekindle bullish hopes among investors, yet this was short-lived as prices swiftly retraced to the familiar territory of 1600. Here's the bottom line, what we keep seeing. We keep seeing higher prices come in, and they are brief. They come in, they come with a pump. People get excited for a day. We're still in a bear market. and we head right back down. And the facts are really simple as it relates to crypto. And this is the same thing in the stock market too. We are looking for basically a valuary. What is the value of the asset? And when you continue to test a certain level as support, I talked about this the other day, it's basically saying, well, it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it. But at some point, it's going to break down through. Statistically, it's going to break down through. Same thing on the upside. If we continue to test, and then, okay, finally we're pressing through. And so what we're seeing right now is the exact opposite. We're seeing movement to the downside. We continue to move to the downside. We hold. We can't hold forever. Do you think that this is a good thing for these markets long-term, Crusader? Do we need to feel some more pain, or is this just the state of the economy right now?
I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good because it gives people opportunities to dollar cost average, right? The average person doesn't have as much money as these big institutional investors, or some people just have a lot more money, right? Just some people just have more money than others, right? But I'm talking about the average Joe, the working 9 to 5, the guy that's barely paying his bills, but he's got a few $100 left here and there to be able to get into crypto. Those are the guys that need the time, right? Those are the guys that benefit the most from the longer bear markets. Those are the people that are given enough opportunities. And I think if we head lower, it is going to be a great opportunity for me because I will be dollar cost averaging at these lower levels. I think we're a lot closer to the end of the bear market than we are when we started. I think the bull market is a lot closer than people believe, right? Whether it's at the end of 2024, that's only 365 days, give or take, right? From after this year ends. So I'm very excited. I think people need to take advantage of this time. These prices won't be seen forever, right? I'm not telling you to go buy. I'm not telling you to go do anything. I'm just saying that's what I'm going to be doing, and those are the people that need it. The people that are just have small amounts. They need these lower price actions to be able to really pack up their portfolio. That's what I did last cycle. That's what I'm going to be doing this cycle again, and that's what's worked out for me. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, don't let it be this big scary thing. We've talked about this 100 different times. Yeah, it feels crappy when the markets are down. Everyone loves seeing their I loved opening my portfolio in the bull market every day. And I did it like a lot. Maybe not every day, but I did it a lot. And I was like, hell yeah, right? That number keeps bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But then comes the problem of, okay, so do I take profits? Do I not? And it's something that we've talked about a lot where I definitely failed myself last bull market, where I had a lot of indications, not from just other people, but just from the market as a whole. As we continue to get educated further and further and further and more and more and more in the space, you start to see some of these patterns, these trends that are happening. And you've got to have the ability to say, okay, heck with where it's going, right? This is my opportunity. And I think that's where so many people fail. All you're hearing is the $200,000 Bitcoin. All you're hearing is a $10,000 Ethereum. All you're hearing is this super long-term, price outlook. And if it doesn't hit that, I'm not taking profits. I just want to throw out there that part of this is to make money, right? Like part of this might be just pure retirement and you just sit and hold forever, but have your part of the game plan there, understanding that you can also make money in the process in the short term as well without being an everyday trader.
Yeah. And don't focus so much on the price itself every single day. Focus on what's actually happening in the markets. Who's getting involved, right? We keep hearing bigger players getting involved, bigger players wanting a piece of the action, bigger players doing certain things in the background, certain things being built. That's what you should be focusing on. And that's what you should be thinking about. Where is this headed long term, right? Yeah. Instead of, oh, well, we could drop to 15K again. Okay, cool. Would it be great to buy at 15K? Awesome. But if we don't drop there, wouldn't it have been great to pick up some at 25, maybe some at 20, right? Mm-hmm. Don't get stuck on these price targets that you have to get to buy in, especially when you're not a trader. If you're a trader, that's how it works, right? You got to get certain price targets to make sure your TA is working and you follow your analysis. Mm-hmm. But if you're just dollar cost averaging and you're not trading, don't get stuck on those things, because you might have a fictitious number in your head that might never come, and you completely miss months and months and months of time to dollar cost average. That happened with Cardano last cycle, with it being at 2 cents for over a year. Lots of people never purchased any, right?
It happened with ETH. It happened with freaking
It happened with
everything.
ETH. It's happened with a lot of different assets. So don't get stuck at these certain price levels. Think about what's being built. Pay attention to what's happening on the news that's coming out, who's getting involved, and dollar cost average wisely. There is a wrong way to do it.
I like what Patriot Caveman says. He's like, buying, that's the easy part. Selling is the most difficult. And I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with that. It is hard for me because I have such a long-term outlook, and I think a lot of people do. And that's okay, right? If your game plan is literally, hey, I'm just putting this money in and forgetting about it, then throw everything we just said out the window. But if your thesis is, hey, I want to make money long term, but in the meantime, I also could use some extra funds coming in, then you have to have a game plan as such. It can't just be set on a particular. This is why we like the dollar cost average strategy. People call it lazy. People call it whatever you want. The reality is it works because you don't know where the market's going. Crusader doesn't know where the market's going. I don't know where the market's going. You can be the most genius investor, short of being Nancy Pelosi and having the dinner party the night before, to know where something's going. You don't know where it's going. And so that is why it's a beautiful opportunity. It's just saying, hey, what do I think this is going to be worth long term? All right, cool. This is an opportunity, because so many people miss the boat from doing exactly what Crusader was just talking about. I'm not buying until 15K. And it gets down to 16.2. And you're like, nope, I said 15. I said 15, which, hey, we're talking about a game plan. Okay, if that's your game plan, fine.
Or they
get
with
missing the boat.
Or they get scared and they're like, it's going to go lower.
It's going to
go lower. I'm not buying this yet. It's going to go lower. Right.
It hits 15 and they're like, well, shoot, it hit that quick. We're headed to 10. I'm buying at 10. And you just never execute
the finish line every single time.
Yeah, for sure. Smash the like if you haven't already, crypto fan. We got a few more people trickling in. Rancor is in the house. FU, longtime subscriber, longtime friend of the channel, part of the DCA fam. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad that you are here today. All right, so let's talk about why, or part of the thesis as to where or why we could see this massive dump that we've been alluding or just straight out talking about. FTX to receive approval to liquidate $1.8 billion worth of these crypto assets. How could it affect the coin's prices? Subsequent to FTX, a formerly prominent crypto exchange, filing for bankruptcy in November of the previous year, concerns have arisen regarding the exchange's future and management of its substantial crypto assets. In April, they held a cryptocurrency portfolio valued at $3.4 billion. Seeking to address its financial challenges, the exchange now seeks approval to liquidate a significant portion of these digital assets on September 13th. This list includes notable tokens like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and totaling $1.815 billion. The decision to liquidate the assets. What?
Yeah, scroll down. It has the breakdown of how much of each asset.
$685 million Solana, 529 million FTT. That's their token. Bitcoin, 268 million. ETH, 90 million. Aptos, 67 million. Dogecoin, 42 million. God, I wish my portfolio looked like this.
You just gotta scam people out of billions of dollars.
I gotta tell you that'd be a beautiful portfolio. But Crusader, you have an interesting thesis surrounding. We've been talking about the dump, and people are like, okay, yeah, we see the economic concerns. We see culturally what's happening in our society. We see the banks, which we're going to talk about later, having a lot of issues. Okay, we see all of that. But why the dump? And you kind of put two things together for me before the show. Talk to the people about what we were talking about.
Yeah, so September is not a good month for crypto in general, right? It's just historically not been good. Now we have FTX liquidating $1.8 billion worth of crypto assets, right? And then on top of that, here on the 19th or 20th, which is not this week, but the following week. So if FTX gets approval now for the 13th this week, they're going to be dumping some assets. Then the following week, we have the FOMC meeting again. And if they come out again, gun-ho about raising interest rate hikes, because we're still not at that 2% or whatever it is that they want, for sure, those two events combined is going to take crypto down. You've seen the chart. Bitcoin's just been holding on to that support for dear life, right? Any positive news comes out, we don't get any pump from it. But if we get some major bad news, one being on-chain with assets being dumped, and the second being the FOMC, right? And then more pressure on risk assets by raising interest rates again, then yes, I believe that is what's going to create the wreck timber and drop us down. How low do we go? I don't know, right? You've seen the levels, you've seen the TA guys that come on here, right? Some people are calling for 19, 20, 22, 23, all in the low 20s, right? Could be lower than that, or it might just be that, and we go back up. Yeah. But I think those events combined is what's going to take crypto down.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think it's a really good thesis. I think the other thing we need to remember is it's not about the actual volume or the amount of money that we're looking at. Like, whatever the billions of dollars were that they're looking to liquidate, 1.8 or whatever the couple $1 billion is not going to wreck the market. What it does is that, combined with something like a hawkish stance from the Fed, creates this turmoil for people, where they're like, oh shoot, risk on assets are not where my money needs to go.
Yep.
And it has a direct effect on the market. And then let's take it even further. This is why it snowballs. So then the big money institutions who are trying to be forward looking see the hawkish stance of the Fed when the meeting minutes come out. And they say, okay, risk on, nope, we're going to move over here. Now the FTX thing, maybe, let's say, just happened. Let's say they allow them to liquidate. Boom, they liquidated. Maybe some of those investors see the same things that Crusader's putting together. Boom, they start selling. Markets start to topple. Well, what happens? The average crypto investor that's not heavily, in the way that we are in these markets day in and day out, it gets scary. I remember when I first got into crypto, it was scary. It was like, wait a minute, like wake up and see a price change of 10% overnight or something. You're like, whoa. And the initial response to that is, oh, shoot, I'm going to lose, or I've seen this before. Oh, shoot, I'm going to lose money. I'm still up right now. Let me sell. And especially with smaller amounts of crypto in the markets and not as much education, it's a really simple, easy way. I've had so many friends. One in particular, I'm not going to call him out on here, but one in particular that had the money to let it sit there and would have done very well. And I like to jab at him a little bit right now, or all the time if I can. He had the money to let it sit there, but he did exactly what I just said. He saw it dumping. Oh, shoot, gotta sell. And I'm like, dude, the whole idea was you didn't need that money. Sit there and be patient, not get scared out of your bags. So I guess want to encourage people that, though this is very likely coming, according to us, we could be wrong, but though this is very likely coming, if you can switch your mindset a little bit to say, okay, have I made an investment with money that I'm willing to allow to look smaller, on the short term, because I know that it's going to be bigger on the long term. And if you can do that and look at that money and say, I don't need it for mortgage, I don't need it to buy, groceries, I don't need it to fill my gas tank, I don't need it for any of that.
I think that's the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem with people
screw up with that all the time, dude,
is that they over leverage themselves by putting in too much money, thinking that, okay, this is the bottom right here, I'm gonna throw in my rent money, and then by the end of the month we're gonna go a lot higher, right? And then the end of the month comes and they're seeing that the price is going low, like, oh man, I need that money for X, Y, and Z, I can't afford to lose. And then they start panic selling. Right, the way my mentality works is, after I read the Bitcoin standard and I decided to get into crypto, every dollar that I've put into crypto, I am willing to completely lose. It's either get rich or die trying, right? There is no in between. If I lose all that money, I stay exactly the same I am right now, 9 to 5, just working average regular guy, nothing special. But if I make it big, my life could change, right? But I'm also not leveraging my entire salary where I can't pay rent, where I can't buy groceries, right? Where my family's going hungry because I'm putting in more money. That's what you shouldn't be doing. That's how you don't panic sell. That's how you get comfortable being uncomfortable in the bear market. And once you get through that, no bear market will ever bother you again.
An investment, and we're not just talking crypto, an investment is supposed to be above and beyond. And I think so many people miss that idea. They think that it's like a lottery ticket. That you walk into the gas station and you spend a little bit of money that maybe you should have put the little extra in your tank, right? To roll the dice. Exactly. I'm getting ready to be in Vegas next week. It's like, I'm going to take a little extra something with me just to get lucky. Like, no, candidly, I'm not in a position to do that right now. I'm not going to be out in Vegas just freaking throwing money around with the hopes of, and that's what, unfortunately, so many times especially when they're uneducated, people get into crypto because the way they get in, we've talked about this time and time again, and we like to harp on it because it's important. And I hope that it's not you, or if it was you, that you're able to kind of tweak and turn the way that you view things. So many people get in on this idea that it's a get rich quick scheme. And that's also why so many people lose money and talk trash about crypto and say it's a Ponzi scheme. It's not that. It's that you're stupid. Okay. Listen, I'm not saying this to anybody on the stream. I'm saying that the people that say that it's a scam and it's a Ponzi and I lost all this money and blah, 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 unless they actually got scammed. No, it was you didn't understand what you were getting into, put money in that you couldn't afford to effectively put in and let sit. And then you got scared out of the market. It had nothing to do with the market. It was you. So I want to just encourage everybody. The bear market's tough, but long term, I think we're all here for the same reason.
That can happen to you.
Yeah,
be here for
it's opportunity.
The bear market.
Yep.
Most people get in the bull market and they think that's the only great time. The greatest time is the bear market. It's boring, but that's where you build your portfolio.
And I want to throw this out there. So we're almost at 10K subs, and we've done that all through effectively a bear market. We saw a little piece of action from the bull market, but not really. And so we've grown that over the course of a bear market. Watch, and you guys can clip this. I'm telling you, watch how much our viewership explodes in the bull market. I'm telling you, it'll go nuts. And all of a sudden, you'll be like, holy crap, Debate Crypto got a ton of new subs. Yeah, because people like to buy when things are going crazy because it feels good, but it is the wrong thesis. So the people that are here through the bear market are the people that are going to be telling the stories down the road about how they did all of these simple things that maybe seem boring, like dollar cost averaging, that has helped their family to gain financial freedom. So go you, if that's you. I hope that everybody gets a little piece of something from us that will hopefully be, beneficial to you long term. So smash that like if you haven't already. What'd you say, Crusader?
I was going to give a shout out to Patricio. Patricio, it's been a while since we've seen you, man. Good to see you here once again. Long-term holder of DCA fam. Good to see you, man. Good to see you back on the show.
Yeah, and Patricio, if you didn't know, 1:00, brother. We got the DCA podcast going, so make sure that you check us out. The link is pinned in the chat. So if you're not subbed there, brother, come over and check it out. We're definitely going to have some fun. Look at what Patricio said. So Patricio said, my sister bought Bitcoin at 60+K. She hates crypto because of this. Yeah, that's a great example, right? She bought when everybody was saying it was going to this exponentially higher number, but the reality is, I'm going to guess that your sister probably put money in that, again, she maybe couldn't afford to lose. And so, of course,
my dad bought Bitcoin at 53K. He bought Bitcoin.
And what part, but you also helped your dad a lot with crypto.
Yes,
what part of that did you not play?
So
what part was the 53K?
Yeah. So I told him, right, I've been telling him about crypto since 2018, right? When I started actually putting money into it. I've been telling him, hey, man, take a look at this. Hey, man, take a look at this, right? The fuck around the world dump happened. Everyone got a letter saying, hey, your portfolio, your 401ks, they're absolutely tanking. Here's a get out of jail free card. You can pull out everything without any penalties right now. I told him, you better pull that. Start buying some Bitcoin and some Ethereum. Bitcoin was at 4,000, 3,000. ETH was like $180. Right, I was like, you better buy some crypto with that. Use half for crypto, use half for real estate, and you'll be good. No way, bro. No way. I'm not buying any of that. You haven't made any money. You're still losing money. Yada, yada, yada. Crypto explodes. We ride all the way up. He finally starts getting into Ethereum at around $1,200, right? Rides ETH all the way to like 3,000, 4,000, right? Then we have a retracement in the market, right? It was that first wave down, and then we have before the second wave up.
Yep.
He's like, I want some more Bitcoin. I was like, dude, it's at 53,000 right now. Like, the bull market is exciting. Maybe we hit 100K, right? Everyone's expecting at 100K, but I don't know if that's going to happen. If we do, it'd be awesome. If you don't, you're going to have to hold it throughout the bear market. No, man, I want to do it. Okay, that's what you want. Got it for him. The minute the bull market was over, this is all a bunch of Fugazi. This is a bunch of BS. I hate this thing. I can't wait for it to hit. You just double up my money and I'm out. I'm out of this thing. I'm like, I told you, bro. I warned you. That's not how this works. Yep. You're not gonna get rich in 6 months.
Well, speaking of people that have been thinking that they're going to get rich for you, dude, you're really turning me into you've jaded me on on Ripple,
what?
on XRP.
I just
let in with a negative viewpoint on my XRP bags. What I was going to say was, speaking of a lot of people that have been thinking that they're going to get rich for a long time and are probably mildly pissed off as well. Here's how non-accredited investors can buy Ripple stock pre-IPO. Okay, this is interesting. Let's check it out. In a recent post, Jones noted that Liquidate has unveiled a special package for people who could not pass the accredited investor requirement to invest Ripple stock. The offer is called Reg D. The sole aim is to allow non-accredited investors to acquire Ripple shares pre-IPO. Jones noted it is a limited offering, urging the community to act fast. This sounds familiar. According to the update, the offering commences next week, particularly on Monday or Wednesday. The intended buyers of Ripple shares are prepared to prepare a minimum investment of $5,000. The first step is registering an account with the platform. Next step stated that the intending buyer should move their funds to the Uphold platform and store the amount in US dollars. The maximum amount transferable, though, to Uphold is $24.99 a day. After the fund movement, he stated that Liquidate would verify such a user. The third step involves moving the $24.99 from Uphold to Liquidate through the Liquidate application. Giving Uphold's transfer limit, Jones urged persons to take action immediately. Let me just tell you something. These exchanges working together make fees on stuff like this, right? I can guarantee you, I'm just throwing it out there, and I apologize, guys. I got a little something. Crusader passed me something through the mic.
Super spreader.
Yeah, and they probably came together with Ripple and said, hey, listen, we can do basically a campaign here for your stock, right? Pre-IPO, if you're willing to do X, Y, and Z. And both Liquidate and Uphold have what they have fees that they're charging, right? It gives a whole bunch of people that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that you should see at least the writing on the wall. You could make a ton of money doing this, right? It might end up working out really freaking well. And I might look back and be
if you're fast enough, because that's how these IPOs work.
You got to get in and out. We were talking. Who were we talking to? Mike Bullish Trader was talking to us about some of these IPO stuff. And effectively, normally you'd have to sit $100K into an account, and it would just have to sit there. And then effectively you have to commit, hey, I'm going to keep that money there, whatever. And then you can be accredited, blah, blah, blah. You got to fill out a couple forms and whatnot. But he did say that you have to literally be, just like with the meme coins, you got to be effectively sitting there and ready for that thing to rock and know what your target is.
Dude,
get out.
This is the problem. Look, before I got into crypto, I played around with IPOs. I played in the Snapchat IPO. I played around the Roku TV IPO. And a few others. Those were the two that did best for me. But regardless, it was get in and get instantly out. 1 day to 2 days maximum before that thing peaked. The reason why companies like to IPO is because they get to dump on all of you guys, right? They are selling their stocks to these big hedge funds for massively cheap, making a bunch of money. And then those hedge funds are selling it to you at a premium price, right? The IPO price, the actual IPO price when it comes out to the market. And then they all sell. They're all selling, right? All these companies are making massive money. It's a liquidation event to be able to gain capital for their companies to then be able to continue moving forward. Because most of these companies that IPO are not even revenue positive, right? They are losing money. They are burning money. So funny enough, right? XRP, Ripple, they've been buying up some companies right now. They just recently bought a company called Fortress something. It has something, I forget what the full name is or whatever. They just bought a company. They're buying out a lot of stuff. They're hiring a lot of people. They're doing a lot of stuff that costs a lot of money, right? Oh, how else can we make money on you besides the fact that they hold 50% of the supply and they slowly trickle it and they dump it on you, right? They are not going to do an IPO to once again get you all excited, make you buy something so they can dump it on you again. I'm just saying. It looks like a cash grab to me. Could it do great? Possibly if you play it right. But I don't know.
You need to understand if you, and I played around the stock market as well. I still do a little bit, but most of what I do is in crypto, other than some of my managed, not personally managed stuff. And you do need to understand exactly what Crusader's saying. It is a get in and get out game, because when we were talking to Bullish, he was talking about, specifically, he was talking about very specifically how fast some of these would absolutely rip and then absolutely dump, because what's happening is the same thing in the meme coin market. So let me give you an example. When Crusader and I have done a couple of these meme coins, let me clear right through. When we played a couple of these, when we played with a couple of these meme coins, okay, there are instances, and this is just me being fully open and transparent, where we get a heads up from people. Hey, this one's going to do really well. We've dumped a bunch of marketing into this. Okay, boom, bam, slam, right? Well, the reality is the ones that were able to do well, all you're doing is effectively racing everybody in there to try to get in and get out effectively at the right time. Well, guess what? The company's already beat you to the punch. So the moment that you're getting in, they're already positive. They're already net positive. They are watching that pump and they're selling all the way through that pump. So it dumps so hard because your little few dollars, your $5,000, your $10,000 is a joke versus the millions of dollars that they're actively selling against it. And you will literally go, whoa, what happened? And all of a sudden, even though you possibly brought pre-IPO at a really quote unquote good price, you didn't do such a good job of getting out. And that's the trick, getting out. And I learned that the hard way with some of these meme coins, and I've done well on some of the meme coins because I learned the lesson the hard way. And it's actively trying to get out. It's just a reality of what these things are. It's not that they're a pump and dump. It's that there's people that beat you to the punch, and they are going to take their profits because they have no feelings towards their dollars.
They're just not long-term holds. That's the thing with meme coins. They're definitely just not long-term plays.
Yep. They are get in and get out. And, maybe something like Ripple is something that you want to hold long-term. So maybe you buy pre-IPO, you watch the dump, and then you hold. Maybe that's your game plan. Fine. But if your game plan is to try to make some quick capital and you try to do something like this, just buyer beware.
Look at everyone that bought into the Coinbase stock. IPO'd at the perfect time.
Yep. Yep. It is a game plan, and the cards are stacked against you. It's like the casino. How many decks are you playing with, sir? Right? Because the more decks, the harder it is for you to win. And that's really what this comes down to. Smash the like if you haven't already. We got 43 people in the house. I don't know how many likes we have, but we better have at least 43 people in here that have subbed to Danger Close Alpha. It is pinned in the chat. We go live at 1 p.m. right after this. Even if you're watching football, Kenton, you can still pop on the show, drop a like, listen to a little, fugazi that's going on in the world. So make sure that you guys do that.
Yeah, everybody will be redirected over there. So if you want to watch the show, you don't have to do anything. Just stay here.
That's right.
When this show ends, you get pushed right on over there. Yeah. If you're not subbed, then you can sub and do all the things.
Yeah, totally.
So you don't have to go out looking for the channel. Just stay here. You'll get redirected.
Good call. So some of the things that we talked about recently that we wanted to do more of is kind of throw a couple random alts at you that people were heavily investing into, or possibly good opportunities, whatever. Again, as always, none of it's financial advice, just kind of giving you guys a little temperature check on where things are. And a lot of people have been buying into this next one that I'm going to pull up, Arbitrum. Crypto Whale acquires 3.64 million ARB tokens worth $3.27 million. It's an interesting looking whale. In a notable cryptocurrency transaction, a discernible whale investor has been actively accumulating ARB tokens since September 3rd, deploying a significant sum, 2,000 ETH. Here's the interesting thing. With the price of ETH, dumping 2,000 ETH to this person has a ton of ETH for one, must have a very, very low average entry point on ETH to be willing to sell it at $1,620 or whatever, right? But equivalent, the approximately $3.27 million. This strategic move has led to the acquisition of 3.64 million ARB tokens with an average purchase price of 90 cents per token. This latest acquisition comes after a prior transaction in mid-August when the same whale invested 800 ETH, which is approximately $1.47 million, to acquire 1.27 million ARB. However, this initial investment was swiftly followed by a sale of the tokens on Binance in mid-August, resulting in a modest loss of approximately $36,000 for the investor. What's the moral of the story here? Well, the first part of the story, moral of the story is whales can lose money too, Okay. That's just a fact. You don't have to be, big money to make and or lose money. The second thing is, I'm going to guess, especially when it comes to big money like this, that this person has some sort of information somewhere that's telling them that it's worth it for them. And this is why I thought it was interesting. Selling ETH, I was talking about it a minute ago. Selling your ETH at $1,600,
dude. I mean,
to be able to buy Arbitrum in millions of dollars worth of it tells me that they might know something that we don't.
yeah, I think what they know is the fact that they probably got into ETH when it was just a few dollars.
Well, that's a fact.
When it was
That's
probably nothing, or
That's
maybe they had a successful NFT project, and or maybe they did some really good leverage trading. However, the way they made 2,000 ETH. Right, I'm sure they have a lot more ETH stored away somewhere. They're not just emptying out their ETH portfolio on this, and I think they're taking the risk versus reward play here. As like, Arbitrum is the next big. Could this be the next big token that everyone's trying to find that next gem now and before the bull market starts to start dollar cost averaging into? Obviously, this person doing a lot more than dollar cost averaging into Arbitrum, and hoping that Arbitrum maybe does a 10, 15x, whatever it is, that's going to outperform Ethereum's holding, right? So he's willing to take some more risk on his portfolio because he probably has a very wealthy portfolio already.
Yeah, that's a fact. There is a lot of tokens out there that people love to speculate on. People will have their favorite, tokens. But one of the reasons that we do like to pay attention to what whales do is because it is a lot of money. And the reality is, you got to follow the money. That's like crime. That's like just investment. Like if you see Nancy Pelosi getting into something or out of something, right? The writing's on the wall. Just pay attention to it. That's why we watch, like, what is his name on Twitter? Whale Watcher or something like that. And kind of just paying attention and temperature checking what the big money's doing, because the big money, albeit, can play games with you and make transactions to also basically false flag an idea. A lot of times they just have that extra little edge. And there's a lot of people that have made a ton of money in the crypto space effectively copy trading what these whales do, just on a much smaller level,
smaller scale, right?
Because even when they're playing games with you, most of the time they're probably not, and so they win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for new cryptos to purchase that I haven't purchased before, right? Like, I have my portfolio from 2018 that did well in 2021, but I don't have any of the new tokens, right? I don't have any Arbitrum, I don't have any Optimism, I don't have any Render, right?
Yeah,
some of these that people are talking about. There's a few others out there as well that I am looking for to try to see if those are the big players, right? And if this next big drop happens, when it does, I will definitely be picking up some of these very small scale, right? $250, maybe $500 into it, and just see what it does. Because why not? Why wouldn't I? I can't just stay with the same old cryptos forever. I gotta look for a little bit more risk for a little bit more reward as well. So, not saying to go buy Arbitrum, guys. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying
somebody thinks it's a good idea.
Somebody's buying a lot of it, and it's something to definitely just keep an eye on.
Yeah. And this next run, Crusader was just talking about newer projects. I want to bring your eye to an older project that I believe. First of all, let me be clear here.
I do read XRP.
I do hold some Chainlink, okay, which is what we're about to talk about in a second. I've talked a lot about this next run being what I believe to be utilitarian. You've probably heard me say that if you've watched the show for any amount of time. I think that this next run, effectively, these projects that actually solve real world problems are going to, because people are recognizing the value of the blockchain in real world use, in real use case terms, right? So one of them that I've been having my eye on, I actually made a bet with somebody on, I don't even remember if it was a football. I think it was a football game. I made a bet with one of my TikTok followers, and he paid up in Chainlink. And he paid up on it. It wasn't much. I think it was $50 or something like that. But he paid up. And shout out to whoever donated to my Chainlink bags. Appreciate you. But what I'm getting at is, I think Chainlink, though the tokenomics suck, are one of those things that, hey, it's always solved real world use case. That is there. And so I think it's going to do well. So we got whales purchasing that too. Chainlink whales purchased over 4 million Link in 10 days for $24 million. Again, follow the money. According to the foremost cryptocurrency analyst, Ali, Chainlink whales have purchased 4 million Link in the last 10 days for $24 million. This tells me, Crusader, as when we see these big buys happening, I'm not going to get into all the details of the Link rally and the back and forth of what Chainlink has done. But the other thing that I want to bring to the attention is that when these big purchases are happening, the other thing that it draws my attention to is how close are we to the end of the bear market? Could our thesis of, because these don't seem like dollar cost average plays when all of a sudden it's just massive inflows of money going into a certain asset. So it's like, is there something about to happen with that asset in particular? Is it just by chance because that person's always loved that project? Or is it, hey, these people really believe that we're closer to the end of this than maybe even we think we are, and this run is going to happen quicker than possibly anticipated?
Yeah, definitely. There's two things out of it. One is the end of the bull market, like I said, of bear market is most likely happening here a lot sooner than we think, and people are being prepared for those positions. Plus, these people have large amounts of money, right? They can dollar cost average at any time, and they're just looking for a double up or whatever it is. So their DCA strategy looks a lot different than what us would look like. I also think if you are a follower of the XRP cult and you believe that and drink that Kool-Aid, Chainlink is one to look at, because Chainlink has also been partnering up with a lot of banks and has been connecting itself with a lot of massive companies. Right, that's the biggest selling point for Chainlink. They're connected with everybody, right? They're an oracle. They're going to be transferring data from real life to the on-chain all the time.
Yeah,
and these CBDCs and these banking system institutional players are also partnering up with Link, and they're doing a lot of work together as well. So if you believe in the XRP hype of it, taking over the Swift system and doing all these things, Link is another one that's right there, if not par with XRP, in due to partnerships with massive institutions and massive companies all around the world. Obviously, just their tokenomics kind of suck, and that's why the price kind of drops. But so does XRPs, and people still buy it.
Yeah, for sure. Crusader, we got two more topics I want to hit. Let's get into those because we got the DCA stream starting before too long. This one we could go all day on. I almost feel like maybe we should talk about this on Danger Close. So let's touch this one real quick, and then we can go a little further with it. 3.6 million to be handed out with no strings attached in large American cities' basic income pilot. A California city, what a surprise, with 76,000 residents is preparing to hand $3.6 million out to people with no strings attached in a new basic income pilot. The sign-up process is now underway in Alameda.
Hold on. I just want to interrupt real quick. What kind of ads are you getting, bro?
Well, apparently big save on Temu. Temu has got women with very large hips. So I don't know. Hey, if that's if y'all think that's my thing, I mean, you got the email address, send the pics on it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so the sign-up process is underway, where 150 people will receive $1,000 per month for 2 years. The program, called Rise Up Alameda, is designed to test whether routine cash handouts are an effective way to reduce economic instability and fight poverty. It says, quote, the money has no strings attached, which means you can spend it on anything you want. Grocery, school, car payments, gas money, or any other personal expenses. The Alameda City Council has used a total of $4.6 million from the American Rescue Plan to fund the program, and adults with an annual household income at or below 50% of the area median income are eligible to apply. All right, so we could go probably all day on this being the worst idea on planet Earth, if you ask me. Again, we could probably talk about it on Danger Close Alpha a little bit here in a minute too. What are your initial thoughts, Crusader, though, without going into the weeds on this?
It's all fake money anyways, right? Why not just hand it out? This is monopoly money, right? Just like, here, you pass go, you collect 200. You pass go, you collect 200, right? Why not? That's basically what they're telling you. They're admitting to you it is fake money. You don't do this with real hard money.
No.
Right? Nobody's handing out Bitcoin. No one's just saying, hey, here's some free Bitcoin for you.
Yeah, some dude was offering me two if I gave him one.
Yeah. I'm sure. Let me know how that works out. Right. So nobody does that with hard assets. Nobody's out there passing out gold. No one's out there passing out silver. Right. No one's out there passing out real estate. No one does this with real assets. They only do this with fake money. Yeah. And that's why these things are so popular. But people don't understand that. People don't know real money from fake money. And they hear this and they're like, oh, I'm getting free money. That's going to be great. all it does is hurt you in the long run. They're stealing that money from your future self, right, to give it back to you. And then you get taxed more and you get taxed left and right everywhere you go. So what are they really giving you? They're just extending your enslavement time as a fiat slave.
I'm going to make it really simple. This is buying votes. That's all this is. This is garnering attention, like the same thing that they do. Excuse me for saying it this way, but like with the migrant issue that's coming across the border and giving them $2,200 a month, where Social Security people are only getting maybe $1,400 a month. It is supporting effectively, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because I know that there's a lot of people that are just flat out struggling and still really working their butt off, but it supports the idea that you can just be lazy and do nothing and wait on government handouts. Well, I've got news for you. Societies don't succeed on handouts. Tell me one society that has succeeded on handouts, and let's have the conversation, but it's not there. The reality is capitalism does work. People need to work hard for their money. Businesses need to be able to earn money to be able to grow. That's just how the world should work. It absolutely infuriates me to see us promoting the idea that something like a universal basic income, which again, to not get in the weeds, where this is ultimately trying to head and push people. I had somebody in my TikTok comments telling me how great of an idea universal basic income was. I said, great, come on the freaking show and try to argue that one, because there's nothing good that comes from allowing people, because what does it do? Just briefly, let's say Crusader and I,
you're destroying the currency that you're
you're not only destroying the currency, but you are promoting laziness, because ultimately, just like socialism, it's like, hey, wait a minute, like I work my butt off and I'm getting paid the exact same thing as this guy who's being lazy. Well, I'll just go ahead and be lazy. And what does it do? It ends up saying, well, what am I doing over here? Why am I working so hard? Well, I'll just be lazy too. And then all of a sudden you have a whole societal norm of just pure laziness, because it's just going to be handed out anyway. So it devalues the dollar and promotes laziness, which is going to do what? Not promote infrastructure growth within our society.
The laziness is not even the real problem. The problem is that, as people stop working to depend on these, on these paychecks that are coming in, what does that do? What that does is the government now controls you, right? The government now, you are now dependent of the government. So when they say something or they pass something, like some of the things we're going to talk about in the Danger Close Alpha podcast with New Mexico, right? When they start passing certain laws or just start mandating certain things, you comply because you are now dependent on them and you can't live anymore without their financial help, right? So they force you into compliance, and that's how things go from free to slavery, right? Look at Cuba. That's exactly what happened. They were promised free land. You were promised free this and free that. Yeah, they got free education. Yeah, they got free medicine. When's the last time someone goes to Cuba to get some dental care or go get a surgery? They don't, because it sucks over there. It sucks. Cuba sucks. And all you get is promised free stuff. In the long term, all you're doing is signing your own indentured servitude.
Yes, plain and simple. It is what it is. And some people are struggling. On this end of things, this next article that I'm about to pull up, the people that are quote unquote suffering are the banks. And let's talk about it quickly. Banks suffer $1.555 trillion in deposit flight in 1 year as JP Morgan Chase and financial giants fight for wealthy clients. New numbers on the global banking system are shedding light on just how much money depositors have pulled out of their bank accounts in the last year. According to the latest data from the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, U.S. banks have faced $605 billion in deposit flight in a year. It goes on to say that basically overall $1.55 trillion in deposit flight over the last year. As customers pull money out of the banks in search of higher returns, right? Wealthy clients are now doing, let me zoom out, the most damage to the bottom lines of America's banking giants, according to a new report. JP Morgan, all these other banks cited deposit outflows in their wealth management divisions in the second quarter of this year, and data from Curinos shows wealth management and corporate accounts witnessed 13% in deposit exodus from the beginning of the year through. Listen, let me just make this really freaking simple. People are getting hip to the game, bro. People are starting to figure out that this is a house of cards that is prepared to fall, that I am not going to sit all of this money in an account that is earning me nothing all it does is it allows me to open up the app and see a large number in there that's not exponentially changing to the upside at all, while it's exponentially changing the bank's upside the entire time. And people are getting hip to it and they're saying, wait a minute, I have other opportunities, one of which being crypto. People are realizing, well, these banks haven't done anything good for me, right? Interest rates continue to rise. I can't keep up with inflation. Why am I going to sit my money in a bank? You're just as well off stuffing money into your mattress, because ultimately it's worth less and less and less and less each day. I don't care if it's in digital format through the bank or not. At least stuffing in your mattress, you're not helping out these criminal banks.
Yeah, at least you're self-custody at that point, baby. That's right. Ain't nobody gonna stop your transaction from going through at that time. Right. That's exactly why there's actually a Mexican billionaire that revealed that he holds 10% of his liquid assets in Bitcoin, and the rest of it, the other 90%, is like in precious metal miners. They are in actually Bitcoin miners as well. It's all in these kind of different things where they have nothing to do with government control. And he understands just how these people that are flying away from these massive banks is, it's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. They want you to keep feeding them money constantly, right? Yep. You get nothing in return so that they can go and take the risk for themselves, make money. Yes, his name, yes, Patricio. Ricardo Salinas. Yes.
Yep.
So they are definitely.
Patricio said he knows him.
Ooh, good, dude.
Patricio,
bring him on the show.
Tell him come on the show, brother. Let's talk about it.
That's right. You know, and have the conversation on why are people fleeing to Bitcoin and alternative currencies, right? Why are the BRIC nations leaving the US dollar? It's because they're tired of getting stomped on. They're tired of the manipulation and the constant fugazi. And there are other ways that you can self-custody and make more money for yourself and hedge against inflation and just overall not lose your wealth.
The jig is up. I mean, I think that social media has been a big proponent and a big factor in this. Is why they want to shut you up. This is why I get videos taken down on some very basic ideas that go against and fight against the narrative of the banks. It's not always some wild political theater that gets, you know, some of these videos taken down. Sometimes it's just as simple as, hey, wait a minute. If enough people hear and get hip to the fact that we've been scamming them for decades and decades and decades, they're not going to want to keep their money with us. If they don't keep their money with us, well, then what are we going to do? Right. And that's what's happening. So the wealthy clients are getting hip to the fact that this ain't the way to do it. I've got other options out there. Crypto is one of them. And I look forward to the day when more and more and more people continue to wake up to the fact that these banks are nothing more than a necessity that hopefully you can just keep the minimum amount in there to keep the ball rolling, you know, as we move forward towards this new age that is the blockchain revolution. So, crypto fam, we love you guys. You could have been anywhere on a Sunday, but you're hanging out with I almost said Danger Close Alpha. I almost mixed it up. With Debate Crypto, getting ready to hang out with Danger Close Alpha. You will be redirected. We will be starting here in just a minute. So we love you guys. Just remember to question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon, real soon.